Hello, beautiful Washington, D.C. Just gorgeous. Over 20 degrees. Spring's here. Trees budding. You can see it. Just behind me, you can see all the green leaf vegetation coming in. Birds chirping. Just gorgeous. Sun beaming down. Double digits. 20 degrees plus. Just beautiful. Awesome. I came on this trip. My friend Rob Tavoni was with me. He's upstairs sleeping now. We had quite the day. We did all of the Capitol, all of it. The scale is massive. If you've never done it before, it's truly epic. It's on a level, a scale I don't think any Canadian could ever truly appreciate until you go and you actually do it. We came in this morning. I knew with our time how things were going to go. We had signs to get erected. We had massive work to do. I had flyer printing. All I wanted done on this side of the border, which we got done. FedEx here is basically a supersized Staples back home. That's a major difference. They operate exquisitely. They can do anything. We got all that done. I was a little late to the White House. I got there and we had actually just missed, and we were rushing to get there, but we had just missed the final tour group going into the White House. So no problem. We met with White House staff, those who guard those gates and those tour groups, and we broke down what we're going to do. We showed them our sign. We showed them the flyers page by page. They took pictures. They took each page, took pictures of it to take back in and run through, because I said, we're going to come back tomorrow. We're going to catch the tour group in the morning. We're going to talk to them as they're going in and try to get them to take our flyers and take them in. He said, well, why didn't you book your own tour? And I said, I'm sorry, sir, but Canadians are forbidden from going. He goes, no, you go through your embassy, lots of countries to the tour group. And I said, when's the last time you had a Canadian in your tour group? Somebody not of government. He goes, well, geez, I don't really know, to be honest. I said, well, since 2015, every Canadian's banned from their own embassy right here in Washington. I said, I contacted them some weeks ago, and I was told that no. As I contacted CSIS, I said, no, since 2015, no Canadian not elected or appointed is allowed in that White House. They won't give us approval or verify us to the American government. And they were shocked. So they took all that. We ran through the presentation on healthcare, explained it all to them, told them every step and stage that we're presenting, what we want to showcase to Americans. And you know what? Thumbs up. Respectful, kind, no problem. We'll see you tomorrow. Have at her. Yes, we're going to take this. We're going to pass it up to our higher-ups. No fret, no fuss, no issues. Not anything like Canada. Now, folks, every step of the way this morning, we have an event to do tonight. Tomorrow I have major events. One, I'm pretty sure it's going to shock load everybody, depending on how that goes. There were 7 events I kept secret in total. This is a very special month in the United States. Since 1944, under FDR, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, Americans have celebrated Red Cross Month. This is the month of March. These are the specific 2 days at the highest military levels. And of course, we have, I'm not going to spoil it, you're going to see tomorrow. We're going to see how that event goes. I can just say it's going to be with a big name Canadian and myself toe to toe. And I'm going to be representing America and Canadians without representation here in the United States. Stuff I got across today with the security of the White House and all of that, the National Park, which is security force for the White House and group. Massive scale, massive operation. I don't think Canadians can appreciate just the size. We were at Lincoln Memorial. It really got emotional for Rob. It was emotional for me. Canadians, when you read those massive murals and the words from George Washington, it's something Canadians could never understand or appreciate unless you're standing there on this monolith, this massive facility. It's like that everywhere. When I asked Rob, a couple times we wanted to shoot a live, but we were both just in awe of everything, everybody. It's both our first times here. You see stuff on TV, but you can't appreciate living it, feeling it, going through it. The thousands upon thousands of Americans. Kids are still in school, and this place is packed, wall-to-wall people, and it's a Tuesday. It's not even officially spring yet, and I think you can all hear the birds chirping. It's beautiful here. But that feeling of God, nationalism, patriotism, and God, as God is with you, all around you in every aspect of everything we went through today, you can't miss that. You can't deny it. And I think for me and Rob, on our journey, and he's been with me a long time, folks, a long time, and you can't appreciate how we feel about this country, Canada, and then come here to America at its capital, its historic everything, and experience that feeling and that pride of the Americans and not get bested by it, almost set aback. And it's hard to explain. And the only way you can explain it, I really think, is to say it's God in everything. George Washington's words, that speech commemorated in those walls, carved out his words at the time, and just what Americans went through in the prohibition of slavery, just how much that took a toll on Americans, and how God didn't answer either side's prayers, and it was really up to the people to make the difference going through that. And then just so much. Presidents celebrated all along here, and I mean, tomorrow's the major one. It's major. I hope that if everything goes well in the one presentation, that will be explosively monumental. If that doesn't go viral, I don't know what would. I think that if everything goes well tomorrow, everybody, you're going to see a viral video produced in first person, undeniable, huge. America versus Canada, and literally a Canadian fighting for America, just like that, and everything that is America, and the ideals the Canadians should have that we don't have, that Americans need to know. I spoke to lots of Americans today, even when I worked in that print shop, which is the central one in Virginia, and of course that's on the border of Washington. So many Americans pouring in and out of there. We had so many people talking to us. I met an academic there. It's a central hub for that kind of things, and all these events that are coming up tomorrow, and of course here shortly after this video. In fact, I'm going to be closing out and heading to that. But it's just amazing how many Americans gravitated to our poster, our presentation. A lot going, wow, this is a lot to take in. I had no idea. Even the American military, the security forces of the White House, they were really taken aback. And you can tell this is important to Americans. They know it is. And they're like, we know the federal deficit. We're worried about it. We're worried about these things. We know what the president's trying to do, and it's not enough. And I'm like, this is enough. This is a good portion of how it's done. It's not everything, but it's a huge portion to getting you under that red line. And I need it to go forward. I need it to go to Bernie Sanders and Donald J. Trump, or any congressman or senator that will hear us and take that. Now, tonight, this event I'm going to, High Academia, it's the leftist side on presidential powers. I'm hoping with that presentation and the 51st state and a judicial amendment procedure that should be found well in this group, they should be able to easily look at my presentation and say, this is credible and real and verifiable. And we never really thought of it like that. We never cross-referenced Canada as a state, Canadian system, converting that into American, and then what effect that could have on America in its amendment procedures. That's what I'm hitting tonight at the highest level of academia. Lots of left-leaners there, but that's okay. It's for everybody. And what I loved is we ran into lots of Americans at the White House holding signs. We need to end the hate, unity, and of course, that's the presentation I bring. They all gravitated to it. We didn't have really any negative experience. Lots of people looking at the sign, nobody criticized, not a one. In Canada, if I went walking down the GTA like that, or Queen's Park, I'd be getting heckled, screamed at, called a fanatic, a lunatic. Americans were curious. Americans were looking like, what? Wow, is this true? People were interested. All aisles. Now, was every fourth or fifth one not interested? Sure. But a lot more were than were not. And that says a lot. And just to have what happened with White House and White House security and how well they took that said a lot too. I would never receive anything remotely close to that from parliamentary security or legislative security anywhere in Canada. They'd be rude, hostile. You'd be treated as a threat to Canada's sovereignty, which is an event tomorrow. And like I said, I hope that one is going to be the video that goes viral, everybody. You're going to have to hang on to your seats for that tomorrow. I hope for good things tonight. We're going to see, and I'll showcase if it turns into something monumentous. You'll see as I go, it's all going to be in real time. Tomorrow, lots of lives, lots of shooting, every event. We're meeting lots of American groups. Half as many as I actually had booked that I've kept secret. I've had to streamline it into what's key priority, I believe, to advance our cause, because the scope and scale of Washington, folks, the distances, the size, the scale of just monuments, epic, huge, nothing representational that you can find in Canada to even come close. America, everything is big, proud, huge, godly-like, bringing spirituality to the people, for the people. It's everywhere. It's a unifier. You won't find that in Canada. And I think that's the real spiritual drain here. I'm not like, it's just knowing that I'm right, everything I say about Canada is true. I know it in my heart to be true. I see it at that center pillar of America, at the heart of it, at the soul of that nation, constitutionally, all over the place here in history. You can see teachers and students, kids doing, getting presentations at these monuments, teachers going through the history. It's huge, it's epic, it's real civics. You're watching it unfold with impressionable minds, and you'll never see any of that in Canada. Won't ever see anything remotely like that. That's my video, everybody. It's been go, go, go non-stop for many hours since I left early morning GTA. We're both tired. We gotta wake up Rob, and we gotta get to our first major event tonight. So wish me luck. Tomorrow's gonna be epic. I'm hoping for the kind of video that is 1 in a million. I'm hoping for that. I think that's probably going to happen. It's going to shock a lot of Canadians and Americans alike. So we'll see how that goes. That's huge. Hang on to your seats because it's huge. God bless. Bye now.